What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. Welcome back to the show where anything and everything Corvette is the topic of the night. This is the show you can tune into every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here to discuss all of your things Corvette. And that is every Monday night, like I said, whether, sick, rain, shine, doesn't matter. As long as I'm not dead or dying, the show will go on. So we're here every Monday night to talk about Corvettes as usual. I see a lot of you guys were thinking we were a little late. David was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got through it. We got through it.
That's what happens when you're traveling.
Yeah. He's out there saving lives, kissing babies, stuff like that. But so we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Kissing hands.
Lots to talk about tonight. Yeah, we already have 39 thumbs ups, guys. That's pretty cool. So let's rock those thumbs ups. Let's keep them going. Let's get to 100 really quickly tonight. Usually by 8 o'clock, we got 100 thumbs ups, but let's get an early jump on this thing and rock some thumbs ups. We got a lot of really cool stuff to talk about tonight. Aaron, AARPM, actually brings up a good topic we are going to discuss, and that is Corey from Paragon talking about the C8 Stingray being a better track car than the Z06. I was going to say it's going to get hairy really quickly, but we will definitely talk about that. But we're going to start it off easy here, as we usually do. We're going to bring on Joler. You guys know Joler from Solar Performance. And Joe, him and I are doing the HPO Vet Exchange thing together. He's here to talk to us a little bit about what cars we have available, what has been removed from the website, etc. So, Joe, if you want to take it away.
Sure. Thank you. Hey, Justin. Hey, David. And David, thank you for spending a lot of time in D.C. trying to get the government open. We really appreciate those efforts. Keep them going. Hello, everybody. Just to update you all on some cars that we have available on our exchange site, as Justin touched on. I'll start with some really good news. The C5 Custom 2003. This is the heavily modded car with receipts for over $93,000 between labor and parts, with just 27,000 original miles, located in Colorado Springs. This is a 6-speed manual T56. It's an LS1 383 built by Leading Edge Performance. You can look on the site, the list goes on and on and on. It's a pretty incredible build. The exciting news is, for those of you scoring at home, this car was available a couple months back, I guess about 2 months ago, at $33,500. We've had one decrease, and tonight we've broken through $30,000. So it can be yours for $29,999. And Justin and I were talking offline, and we were talking about maybe splitting the car, so to speak, because the price now has reached the sort of no-brainer price point. Though $33,500 was a steal, $29,999 is pretty incredible for what's in this vehicle. The second one is we have removed the torch red 2000 C5 red convertible. The owner decided that at $19,999 it was worth going ahead and keeping that one owner $25,000 clean Carfax car. Yeah, if for any reason you or you know anybody, let us know and we'll revisit the conversation. But for now, I think we can all understand, given the prices of these cars these days, that probably was not a terrible decision on the owner's part. On the good news front, we have a black 2023 Z06 3LZ triple black, carbon wheels, sticker price $161. Can be yours or a friend of yours or relative of yours for $126,200. Quite a bit off of not only sticker, but again, as we talked about, if you think about the increases since 2023, that sticker is probably now up to about 167 or 168 apples to apples in terms of what this car has in it. So if you're looking for a car with under 8,000 miles, with a whole lot of features and options for a price below 127, I think this is certainly the car for you. And we'll end on another one of my favorites we have at the moment, which is a 2015 C7 Z06 3LZ convertible, black interior. This one has 17,500 miles, and it's priced at $64,200, clean Carfax, extraordinarily clean car. It also does have some nice race stripes on it, factory. And just looking around the markets as I do, that's a really attractive price for a C7 Z06 with that type of mileage. You'll see cars with 28, 30, 35,000 miles that are just north of the price of this one for half the miles. So that's kind of the update for this week. And you know where to find us. Reach out. And as always, I'll get back to people within 24 hours. That's my commitment, usually same day. So thanks again. And I will see you all shortly.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thanks,
Joe,
Joe.
real quick, I didn't hear. I was kind of half asleep
Yeah.
there for a second. Is that a Z07 car or just the Z06?
Z06.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
All right,
Thanks,
Joe.
everybody.
Thanks. All right, guys. So as you heard there, we do have these 3 cars available. Out of the 3, honestly, my favorite would probably be that black C8 Z06 for that price, especially with the carbon fiber wheels. That's the deal, I think, right there. But Joe, of course, taking his time out of his day to come and update us. It's awesome. He is going to be on the live video for the whole session next Monday night because it is being sponsored by Solar Performance. So he will be here to answer any of your questions about the throttle bodies, throttle controllers, which brings me to my next point. Our giveaway for tonight is going to be a throttle controller. So again, throttle controller for any car you have, as long as Solar Performance makes it. It doesn't matter what car it is. If they make it, you can get it from Solar tonight for a donation of $10. We'll get you an entry. $50 or more will get you double entries. So let's go ahead and start with that. You can send it on Venmo, which is a link pinned at the top of the comment section here, or just send it as a super chat right through YouTube's chat system. Either way, you will get entered to win. So if you want a throttle controller, this is the best way to get it. This is definitely going to net you one cheaper than what you would pay normally. So jump in there if you want. Like I said, it is sponsored by Solar Performance, and yeah, they're always they've been great to me. They put out some awesome products. David and I both have their throttle bodies and throttle controllers on our cars, and we wouldn't be doing that if they didn't work. So keep that in mind. Again, guys, let's smash the thumbs up button. Let's get to 100 by 8 o'clock would be awesome. But let's start with getting some entries on the giveaway here. Let me see if any have come in yet. No, so let's start with some of the entries there, and then we're going to start talking about some news because there's a lot of stuff to discuss tonight. One of the topics that, like I said, Aaron, AARPM, brought up is going to be something that we're going to talk about tonight. And I've already talked a little bit with David about it, so it's going to be one of those kind of conversations where stuff gets interesting. So
it might get a little spicy.
Yeah. So Charles Samara, first entry in, he gets 20 entries in for the throttle controller. So
now, and also too, if it's a controller, they have the controllers for like crazy amounts of cars too. So it's not like even like you have to if you've already got a throttle controller for your C8 or you already got a throttle controller for your vet, like they have it for Dodge, they have it for trucks. Like what? Just no, like look on their website and they have it for a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, like a massive amount of vehicles.
A massive amount, yeah.
Let me see. I just got another entry from 2 more people. Let's see. We got
actually Aaron. If it's drive-by-wire, if it's a new one, they do. So
Larry Lewis is in for an entry. And so is Steve. Which Steve? Steve Robertson in on for his new Z06.
Yeah.
So he is in for 10 entries. Awesome, guys. Let's keep those rolling while we discuss some news here because, like Aaron said, there's a little bit to talk about. Jay Brazelton, he says running late today. Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
David had a little bit of a. I mean, I don't want to drop all the blame on David. It's kind of
you can drop it. It's okay.
It's kind of my system that we use for the live. Not playing well with his phone, whatever the case may be. But let's see. Yeah, John Perkins. So the Stingray is going to get E-Ray hate. Nah. So I don't hate the E-Ray. So I mean, I feel like I have to say that every live video, but yeah, we'll get into that in a second. All right, so we got another entry here. Looks like Sean is in for $100. Awesome, Sean, thank you. So he's in for 20 entries. And again,
Yeah,
guys,
and
this
Ricky
is for any
hit
car
it on
like
the head too. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ricky hit it on the head too. Like, you'd be surprised how many truck guys have the throttle controllers on.
I have
Like,
one.
really. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, because Aaron asked if they had one for, I think it was a 1500. So I'm like, yeah, if it's late model and it's drive-by-wire,
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
I have one on my Ram TRX, and honestly, the reason I have one on my Ram TRX would actually surprise you if you guys haven't seen that video. The reason I do it on my Ram is not because the throttle isn't sensitive enough. I know this sounds weird, so let me finish. But it's because if I put the truck in sport, the throttle's perfect. But in sport mode, the way that the truck's programmed, the RPMs hang forever. Like,
they hang really high.
Yeah, and it's like, I hate it. So I like the truck in street mode, but then I hate the dead feeling of the pedal. So it's like, if I have the transmission in street mode and everything else in sport, the truck has really dead feeling accelerating, but everything else is good. So I thought, how can I fix this? And I was like, oh yeah, Solar Performance can fix this. I plugged it in, dialed it up, and now my throttle is just as sensitive as it is in sport mode, but I'm not in sport mode, so the RPMs don't hang. It's freaking perfect.
And actually, that's not weird at all. That's brilliant. So that's absolutely brilliant.
All right, so we got Jay.
We'll find a way.
Jay's in for 10 entries. Yeah, honestly, it is kind of a way around being programmed into a box from the manufacturer, because it's like you can't be in sport and also enjoy the hanging RPM, but I can, because I went into a custom mode and picked and chose everything I wanted and then slapped that throttle controller in. That's the way to do it. So
well, and Tegan actually taught me something this last week. I think I talked to them, for Tegan from Solar, about the one on my C606, how much you guys saw the video. I love it. It's a little bit different feel, but it makes, heel toe downshift blips. You can actually put, if you have a manual, in manual mode, that'll cut that signal when you put the clutch in. So if you have a habit of over revving too, so I mean, there's that too, which is crazy. I didn't even know manual mode existed. I just went with the setting and go. But he taught me there's an actual manual mode for manual cars that will cut that signal when the clutch comes out. So you don't, if you go over rev it. Pretty cool.
Okay. I wish someone had told me that, because I've been selling this thing as not good for manual cars for a long time now.
Well, it was funny because like I did a video and then I got the, like Tegan and I were texting, and then literally I got this like scroll through text that was like 3.5 pages long, but it was awesome. But he was like, there's a manual mode that may blah 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 blah, and I looked and I was like,
all right, I'm gonna have to revisit this for my ZR1 then.
I know, like, again, that was part of the thing. I think and he actually said that, I think it was this past week, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it yet, but he said that it's probably why you really didn't like the way it felt. I don't know, but so didn't know that, but thank you, Tegan. You're awesome, man, dude.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jeremy. I was just noticing he still sounds a little quiet, so I'm gonna try to turn him up now. So I'm gonna turn you up, David. It's right.
Turn me up.
You've been messing around for far too long.
Don't want to turn me loose.
All right, how about now, David? Say something.
I say something. What's up, Jeremy? I see you in there, man.
Yeah, that's a little better. I think I still got to get a little further. Let's bump you up. I'm gonna bump this up to 10.
Oh, 10. Oh, yeah. P10 performance mode.
All right, that should be a little bit better. All right, guys. So, man, there's a lot of good questions in the comment section today. You guys are killing
it. I know, right?
We gotta get I don't know where to start.
I keep seeing them. I can't type fast enough.
All right, so let's see. Ricky, that pretty much nailed it on the head right there. I mean, to some degree. I wouldn't even say I dislike the E-Ray. I would say, honestly, it's not my thing. It's that simple. But I can totally appreciate the car for what it is. It's just not my thing.
And we've had this. I mean, like, I really, really appreciate how good that car is. But if I bought one, and I'll be honest with everybody, it would stay stock for a day.
Yeah,
like I would be like,
only way I would be able to have that car, Gary.
Yeah, it would stay stuck for one day, and then it would be like letting it loose. Just let it eat.
Okay, so first off, guys, let's smash the thumbs up button again. Thumbs up. Let's get for those of you just joining, there is a giveaway tonight for the Solar Performance Throttle Controller for any car you may have. If they make it, you can win it. So as long as they have that controller for said car, you can win it for that car. It doesn't have to be a Corvette. All right, so let's talk about, you know what, screw it. Let's just run right into it. Corey from Paragon Performance, you guys know, we all know and love him. He has an opinion. If you haven't seen this yet, he made a video talking about how he thinks the C8 Corvette Stingray is the better car for track use than a C8 Z06. Now, that statement by itself is relatively ludicrous. I will say there is not a chance, no single chance in hell, that I believe that statement for 1 second. But there are details that are kind of left out of that video. If you don't know Corey and you don't know Paragon Performance, what he is really talking about is a heavily modified C8 Stingray. Heavily modified, gutted interior, literally built to be a track car, is a better car than a stock C8 Z06. In that situation, maybe I would agree. Maybe that's a solid maybe. But if we're talking stock for stock, not a chance. The Z06 is the better car completely, 100%. So that's kind of where I think the argument gets lost, is that if you guys don't know exactly what Corey was referring to, because they do have a really, really purpose-built track Stingray that they use. If you guys were thinking he was referring to two stock cars, that I think that's where the disconnect's at. So, yeah.
Well, but and again, like
someone needs to tell Corey it's too early for April Fools. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, and honestly, too, like I get partly also where that comment's coming from and what he did there, right? Like, because Corey's been very busy lately, building his brand, building his channel, piggybacking off the Paragon to get his social media presence up. He's very open about it, and I think it may have been some like hate bait where he was like, I know if I put this out there, people are gonna start talking about it, which we are.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Like, you can't compare a purpose-built track car, or even if it's not purpose-built, you've taken it to a point where you gutted the interior. Yes, most of the systems are still there, but you got racing seats, you got a cage, you got all these things. Any car you put a cage in is going to handle better. Any car. Okay, because you've just stiffened the frame and you've made it even more stiff because you have all these different mounting points that you're making it more stiff, and more stiff equals it's going to handle better. Is it going to ride better? That would be my other question to Corey. No, it's going to ride like a track car, right? Sure, it'll handle better, but it's not. But like you said, there is no way it's a better track car than even if you have a relatively heavily modified Stingray. It's still not even close to that. But then the other thing would be, would you drive that Stingray, Corey, on the street? Like the one specifically that they built at Paragon? No.
Right.
Why? Because it would be it would be terrible to drive on the street.
Ricky says, yeah, Corey says stock for stock, the Z06 blows the Stingray out of the water. I didn't watch the full video he put out because it was relatively long, but the way he starts it off, maybe it was trying to rage bait, but again, if you don't know Corey and you don't know Paragon, if you think he's talking stock for stock, you're immediately going to rage out because it makes no sense. Like, there's no way that car's better than the Z06.
Exactly. But honestly, like, so, I mean, I've built track cars in the past. I have a track car that's Mustang. It's pretty stripped out and stuff. That's got a pretty good setup. But if you're going to do it, and that's what you're going to do, and you really want to track a car, it totally makes sense to do it the way he did. Or they did at Paragon. Like, you can get a 2020 pretty cheap, a Z51, which is pretty much all you need is a Z51 Stingray if you really want to start to get into tracking your car, because the real expense on the racing is not what you put in the car initially, it's your consumables, it's your tires, your brakes. It's crazy how expensive that gets really, really fast. But that's the way I would do it if I was going to build a track car. I'd get a 2020 with a Z51. I don't care about the miles as long as it's not clapped out and whatever else, and then just do exactly what Paragon did.
Yeah,
100%.
So yeah, and I mean, somebody said in here too that he was talking that he meant more so. Yeah, what he meant is the Stingray is more mod friendly for cheaper track parts, blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
And that's if that's what he's referring to, absolutely. But the way he opened the statement, I think it was like David said, a little bit of a rage bait. But at the end of the day, I understand what he's saying, and especially since they have a modified C8 Stingray, I know what he's referring to as well. So if you get the full picture, what he's saying makes perfect sense, because yeah, you could take the money that you're going to spend on a Z06, let's say roughly 120, 130 grand, dump that into, as David elegantly put it, a non-clapped out C8 Stingray and then throw the rest of the money at the mods. I mean, if you're at 100 to 120 grand into a Stingray, you're going to have a pretty beefy built track car.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, and honestly, in that situation, I would venture to say that on the screen here and in the chat, none of us are going to take a Z06 to the track and push it to the point where you're going to understand why the Z06 is a better car than the Stingray. It's just we're not the drivers to do those kind of things. Now, I will tell you, even without that, I enjoy driving the Z06 on the street way more than I did driving the Stingray. Same with the E-Ray, way more than I did driving the E-Ray. And there's a reason for that. The car is built to handle turns. It's built to sound fantastic. It's built to feel like a sports car. So if you enjoy that feel.
Well, and the other thing I will say, having, gone to different racing schools and programs and done some track time and try to, join some clubs and build up. I will say that if that's your goal is you want to have a track car and that's what you want to do and you want to learn how to be really good on track, the Z06 is not the car. It's too much car for you. Oh, yeah. It'll happen. People don't believe that. They're like, oh my God, I need more power. I need more car. I need more. That Stingray, if you're a brand beginner and you take it on the track with just a decent set of, what the pilot or the Pilot Sports 4S's that are on there, and it's a tune only car, it's still going to be more capable than 90% of us. And the problem is when you get to these cars, it's the Z06 level where you have that much performance, the car takes away from your ability to learn because you're hammering the power out of the car, and it makes up for your lack of ability to drive. Where when you have a little bit less horsepower, and not that 495 is less, I mean, it's still going to be way fast on the track, but you have to learn things like braking, turn in, how not to upset the car, how to keep the balance of the car, and you learn to be smooth with it. And again, consumables are the absolute biggest price point there. And I love would I trade the sound of my Z06 on track for the Stingray? No. Would I trade driving my car as a daily or fun? No. But I'm not kidding you. If I was going to do a track car and I didn't already have one purpose built, I would get a Stingray and start there. C51, start. That's all you guys need.
Yeah. But so again, there's a couple good points being raised in here, and it's NBA Live says the problem with that is you can never sell the modded Stingray. And then it goes on to say, Hot Rod Todd says you don't sell track cars, you wear them out. And this is true. If you buy a Stingray and you gut it and build it for track use and that's what you use it for, don't plan on ever selling it. Just plan on whatever you do to that car, it is now yours forever. And if you have the money to do that, that makes perfect sense. But again, this is getting into the nitty-gritty of the video that Corey created, because not everybody has that kind of money, nor the space to house a car that they're going to use a couple times a year at the track. With that said, that's why the C8 Z06 exists, because it does everything. You can have it on the track. You can drive it on the street. Now you have a car that you can just have one and do all these things. So there's compromises, of course. Now,
and that would be the counterpoint to what Corey's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going to build a purpose-built track car and you're going to put track time in, right? The amount of money you would put into a car that you really wouldn't want to drive to dinner, you really wouldn't want to take it to the show, you really wouldn't want to do else, you're going to be at the same price as a used Z06 now at this point, a really good Z06 at this point. And you're going to do all the stuff you want to do with it. And for those 2 or 3 track days, you take it out and you just go. Like Alex, he just joined that track cover, whatever. Alex will literally melt the tires off his car in a session on his Z06, and he'll go down and he does that like 3 or 4 times a year. He'll just melt the Cup 2Rs off of it, and then he'll go like he's already had to do, But I mean, that's what you do with it.
Yeah.
But then you can drive it everywhere you want to drive.
With that said, we have 10-second Z06. I'm going to try to find his comment, but he said that basically the C8 Corvette with the Z07, the Z06 with the Z07 package is basically a track-ready car out of the box, and one that can also be driven on the street. So, yes, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, and I mean, nowadays especially, you can get a C8 Z06 with the Z07 package. I got mine brand new for $140 out the door. Like, you can get them even cheaper than that used. I've seen them 120s. For a Z07 package car, and then all of a sudden you're talking about a little bit of a different thing here. If you're a guy who lives on the track, you're still going to want a dedicated track car. If you're a guy who goes to the track a handful of times a year, The Z07 is going to be more car than you could ever possibly need for that track, and it's not going to be anywhere near a worse car on that track than a Stingray would be. That argument, which I know is not what Corey meant, but people taking that and thinking that that's what he meant, you're insane if you would say yes to that, because GM was very upfront about the fact this Z06 is basically as close to a track-built car that you can get and still be legal on the street. It's that simple.
Well, I would piggyback right off of that as a experienced track person, you would get maybe a little bit more out of a purpose-built Stingray, but as any of us, even if you were like, hey, I'm going to do 10 events this year, you're never going to be able to be better in the Stingray than you are in the Z06, because the Stingray is a purpose-built track car. There's some things you have to learn. You got a lot of seat time, with the Z06 is a lot more forgiving. We all learned this at Ron Fellows, right? Everybody learned it. And, you know, the nannies that are there, I mean, it'll make you look like a rock star. So,
yep. Joe from Solar Performance actually says that he asked the instructors at Ron Fellows how their track times on their 2.2 mile track compare Z51 versus Z06. They do 3 seconds faster in a Z06. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot until you consider the fact that that's a small track. That's 2.2 miles.
An eternity.
So 3 seconds is gigantic on a track that size. And that's the speed, that's the downforce it's creating. That's the tires being wider. The car itself being wider. Everything about that car is better for the track out of the box.
Right.
So,
well, and again, I like how Corey, again, to get a little bit of rage bait, whatever, he starts the video, but then he does finish out with a lot of what we're saying here. Like if you watch it, you watch the whole video, he kind of does say a lot of, but you know, a lot of
people were like me. I heard the first 20 seconds and I was like, nah, I can't. And then of course I went back and rewatched it later, but at first I was like, come on, man. Like either you're doing this on purpose or you are seriously undereducated on the matter. But of course, I knew what he was doing after I listened to everything. So,
well, and what Joe said about the instructors, like, I'm not talking about me picking up 3 seconds a lap, going from day 2 to day 3, whatever, right? Because everybody gets so much better. Because these are the people who do it professionally, who are already pushing the cars to their max or very close on that track. Picking up 3 seconds from one car to the next is huge. I mean, you know, it's best to learn to drive a slow car fast.
Yes.
Because you learn the mechanics, and a lot of people start with like just spec Miatas, man. Like they have almost no power.
I was just going to say that
way.
Bill
Bill
Miller in the chat here, he was able to ride with TJ down at Pit Race before they closed that, and he was driving around a gutted Miata. And it's like a Miata is basically a giant go-kart, so it doesn't have a lot of power, but if you gut it and you throw a roll cage and stuff in there, you're going to have a car that can handle that smaller track pretty forgivingly, because you're not going 400 miles an hour. You know, it's like you're moving semi-slow with one of those Miatas, so your mistakes are easily fixable. Then you move on to the faster cars.
And I think exactly. And I think too, the other thing is when you're looking at this standpoint from a learning standpoint, or you get to that intermediate stage where I think a lot of people get to pretty quickly and just kind of hang there for a while, because getting to the advanced stage then requires a lot more. But even built as a track car, I still totally believe, and I think somebody may have said in the comments, the E-Ray the Stingray would be more forgiving. Right, it's not as high strung where you're always out there on the edge to extract the maximum amount of performance, and you can get there very easily.
Yeah.
Whereas to get to the maximum on that Stingray, you're going to have to know what you're doing.
Right.
You can get way out ahead of yourself in both of these cars, but it's a lot easier to do with the Z06. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I've heard a couple people say something about the torque in the Z06. This is one area where, especially with the mods that we've done, you really, really improve the torque aspect of the Z06. And for example, just the other night, Saturday night, I changed the oil on my ZR1, my C7 ZR1, and then I drove it down to storage. And while I was driving the car, it's a great car to drive, but at no point while driving that car did I go, wow, this thing has so much more torque than my Z06. I honestly don't think it does. At this point, I think what we've done with the mods on that car, the way the torque comes on, and the way I drive my car, of course, I live at higher RPM, but all of those things combined, I don't feel a big difference in the torque between those two cars.
Well, and but the way the transmission set up, the way you drive it, whatever else, you live in the power band. And
Yeah,
let's, we don't have to get greedy for torque. The C701 is a torque monster. It's a
right.
positive displacement blower. But like from a standpoint of look at all the years and all the cars that are out there now that make 500 plus horsepower, how many of them are making NA the torque that the LT6 is
Oh,
making?
right.
It
Yeah,
makes a lot
almost
more
none of them.
torque.
Yeah. When that engine
Yeah,
came
it
out, that
makes a
was the
lot of torque.
highest. That was the highest horsepower making engine in that displacement that existed.
And you stay in that power band the
Yeah.
whole time. Like, how many of you guys, when you're really on it, are you dropping below 4,035? Never,
Yeah.
never, never.
If I put
So
it in
you don't have to
drive,
worry about the torque, guys.
if you drive the car and you're in drive mode the whole time, assuming you're not in track mode, that car will keep it below 4,000 RPM. And at that point, it does feel like a little bit of a dog. But if you drive that car like I do, I'm in sport mode all the time.
Yep.
I'm in manual mode, so I'm controlling the shifts. I very rarely drop below 4,000 RPM. And
Right. Well, and that's the thing that Todd mentioned. Like, these are dual clutch transmission cars, guys. There's less to learn from a standpoint of the actual learning to race, right? Because you don't have to worry about heel toe downshifting, so you rev match, so you don't upset the balance of the car. You basically brake as you're downshifting, and you can trail brake very easily through the corners. But some really like a racing setup for gear transmissions or like closer ratios in the Z06, if you were going to track it, or even the Stingray, if you're going to track it, you got closer ratios. That would be a lot of fun. That would
so
be
Z06
a lot
Hot
of
Rod
fun.
Todd kind of brings this thing full circle. He says the solar throttle controller helps keep it on the power, makes a huge difference. And that's one of the mods that David and I both have on our
That's it.
Z06s as well. So again, if you
Yeah.
want to get a solar throttle controller, tonight's the night. You can donate to enter the giveaway
Yep.
where we're going to give away a throttle controller at the end of this video. And it can be for any car. It doesn't even have to be for a Corvette or a Z06. As long as solar performance
Yep.
makes it for your car, you can win it for that car. So $10 is an entry, $50 or more is double entries. So let's get in on this, guys. Any entries you make, I will get you on the list. You will be the wheel will be spun tonight. And just so you guys know,
Yep.
Monday night is obviously our Corvette Weekly. I'm here, rain or shine. But tonight, the Green Bay Packers are playing the Eagles. It's happening right now. I can see it on the top of my screen. I'm watching the score.
I was going to ask you about that.
But this is what I'm talking about. I'm here doing this when I could be watching that football game because I love you guys. You guys are awesome. This
I
is
saw
an
them
awesome
talking
time.
about they were talking about the analysis of the game and stuff on the plane when I was watching. I was like, oh, Justin's gonna miss the game.
Riptide Rick says, Justin, you must be getting under 10 miles per gallon driving at 4K all the time. I do. And I mean, honestly, I would be surprised if any of my cars
Who
are getting
cares?
over 10 miles per gallon because I don't care about
Yeah, who
miles per
cares?
gallon. I care about miles per gallon. You guys
That's
know
right.
that.
And that's what I said just in one of my videos I just did. Like, you can get great gas mileage if you put it in drive, put the cruise control on, and
Yeah.
you go the speed limit, and you drive for 2 hours straight without it. But none of us are going to do that. I
Yeah.
get single digits when I'm going.
Yeah. Also, while you're at it, take the aero off, the splitter, the canards, if you have a Z07 package
exactly.
wing, take that stuff off. That's not good for gas. And then just
good for
reduce
gas
the size of
mileage.
the tires.
Who
You really
cares?
only need a tire about this thick. Put those on there. You'll get great
who
gas
cares?
mileage.
Exactly. Nope.
Never enough HP or ammo. I like it. Says Justin, did you get both AWE Sport Cats as well as an AWE exhaust? I assume he meant. AWE actually does not make Sport Cats, so I have the Soul Performance Sport Cats and the AWE exhaust.
Well, and I'm remembering the conversation after you surprised me with my car and Sarah was talking to you about your car. There's a reason, guys, that AWE doesn't do cats and it's all EPA related. They literally were like, it is such a headache. It is one of the most difficult things to deal with because they would love to do it. They've said like the VP and they all said that they told Justin they're like we'd love to do it, but from an EPA standpoint, it's just not worth it right now. So
yeah. Well, guys, let's move on to the next topic. So we kind of beat the Corey saying Stingray was better on track than his Z06 thing to death. I think we figured out exactly what Corey meant by that. So I mean, this is by no way supposed to be any hate towards Corey. Corey's an awesome dude. We obviously David and I both love Paragon and Corey and everything they're doing over there.
Great
so just to clarify what he was talking about and clear some things up because people I heard the buzz. People were like, what? So good that we got to talk about that, but there's a lot more to talk about tonight, guys. So let's smash the thumbs up button. If you're just joining in on the live stream here, Solar Performance is the sponsor of the entire month of November. And we are giving away a throttle controller tonight for pretty much any car you may have. So if they make the throttle controller, you can win it for your car. It doesn't matter if you have a Corvette or not. So get in on the giveaway here, guys. Every $10 is an entry. $50 or more is double entries. So make sure you are getting in on that, and we can make sure that you get a chance to win for significantly less than what you would buy them for in real life, which honestly, if you don't win, they sell for about $230. Plus you can use the HPO5 discount code and save even more money off of it. So if you don't win here tonight, it's not like your life is over. They're not super expensive. So
well, and I mean, it was literally the first mod I did, and I have to say, after all of the things I've done, I love everything I've done to the car. And cumulatively, it's an insane package. But that was the biggest change, mod for mod, boom, and it was 200 something bucks. The biggest change.
Yeah. Yeah, this time around, I was talking to Joe whenever I did it on my Newsios. The way I've done it in the past, I always did the throttle bodies and the throttle controller at the same time, and noticed just a gigantic difference. Okay, I guess that was another drop for some reason, but anyway, like I was saying, normally I do the throttle body and the throttle controller at the same time and notice a gigantic difference, but this time around I did the throttle bodies and then added the throttle controller after a couple months of driving with the throttle bodies and realized that the controller makes a gigantic difference on its own. Yeah.
Yep. And again, that was literally the first thing that I did, short of the spacers on the rear, just because I couldn't stand the way the wheels set in there like that. That was the first thing I did, and it's by far the biggest change, just doing one mod in the way that I enjoyed the car, the way the car felt, the way the car drove. Period.
Yep. Never Enough HP or Ammo says, how do I donate? Pinned at the top of the chat is a Venmo link, or you can donate right here through Super Chat on YouTube. So right beside the area where you're typing, there's a little $sign. If you click that, you can donate through there. So either place, donations will count. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess let's talk a little bit about the news. We're past the Corey C8 Stingray thing. Let's talk a little bit about the news, because if you guys, I'm sure by now, unless you're living under a rock, you have seen that the ZR1 has bested the GTD and a GT3RS on the track, with Savage Geese doing the testing. Now, why this is important? There's multiple reasons why this is important.
Right.
Obviously, the ZR1 besting those two cars basically represent the best of the best from those other two manufacturers. So the best of the best in the Porsche, the best of the best in the Ford setup. And the ZR1 delivers, I think, over 2 seconds faster than both of those cars, which is pretty freaking ridiculous. Especially since the ZR1 is also the second heaviest in the class. The GT3RS, of course, is the lightest, and it's the lightest by like 500 pounds. So
yeah, it's a lot.
But at the same time, it's also the lowest amount of horsepower. So GM is obviously combating the weight of the car with more horsepower, and in this case, it works. Now, the thing that is important to note here is the Savage Geese guys don't even love the idea of the Corvette. You can tell at the end of the video, they're talking about how the Corvette beat everything, but they don't like it. They don't really like the Corvette. And I mean, everybody has their preferences. I get it. But at the end of the day, the fact that they had to say that the Corvette won, and they don't really like the fact that the Corvette won, is kind of funny. But again, if you haven't watched the video, it's almost an hour long. But it is a really good watch, because there's a lot of really good information there. It's the first time that I have seen anybody talk about the GTD's actual weight. That car is well over 4,000 pounds. And if you remember David, you were actually on the live video when we talked about what the weight was going to be on this channel. And a certain other YouTube channel chastised me, saying I was wrong about it, that I was off by like 500 or 600 pounds, that the car was going to weigh around 3,400 pounds. I was like, no, this thing's going to be over 4,000 pounds. It's the same chassis. And sure enough,
Correct.
we got the actual weight. It is well over 4,000 pounds. So, yeah. It's interesting to see all the information out there, though, guys. But if you haven't seen it yet, of course, this is it here. Right. It's over at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. We can see, they kind of dive into it as well. But honestly, this thing is crowned the king. We know the C8 ZR1 is the king, or the ZR1 in general is typically the king. In this case, these are the three cars. Like, these are the cars you're going to see compared to the ZR1 as rivals, because these are somewhat comparable in price. And that's the thing, is like the ZR1 in this picture is still the cheapest car that you can buy. They're similar in price, but the ZR1 is still the cheapest one, and also the best performing one on this track by over 2 seconds. So really a great thing. The biggest reason I wanted to mention this is because I've heard the complaints from Professor Corvette. Professor Corvette is tired of seeing the Corvette lose. And for the most part, we see a lot of that. We see a lot of people posting about how it's losing here, losing there. And it's because the way that the drivers are driving these cars. They're not driving them correctly. Right. But here, Professor, this is for you. The ZR1 not only wins, but it beats really high-end cars. You're welcome.
Yeah, and people that are doing these roll races and stuff, they don't keep the boost up. They're not, the anti-lag is not there. They're not driving them. But what the Savage Geese kind of made me think, and you almost touched on it there for a second, Justin. I have no idea why the C8 ZR1, even though it's the fastest, it's the best, it's the most insane ZR1 we ever, is getting so much hate, whereas the C7 and the C6, everybody was like, whoa, it's the king of the street. This thing is an animal.
There's only one reason.
ZR1 still.
Only one reason.
Still go. Why?
It's the over MSRP
because
charges.
It's that much better.
Well, it's better too. But
I know.
The biggest thing is people, and honestly, I'm somewhat guilty of this. I don't want to hate on the car, but I want to dismiss it because I don't want to care about it. Because if I do, now I'm angry I can't get one at MSRP. I'm angry I passed it one at MSRP.
Right.
I want to dismiss it and be like, yeah, my Z06 is enough. And that's what I think. That's what's happening here. Yeah.
But do you remember though, like the Porsche, not necessarily the Mustang, because they didn't have an answer for that, but like the M guys and some of the other guys having a lot of buts with the C7 ZR1, the C6. I think it was literally just like, okay, holy crap, shots fired. That's insane. This car's a monster.
I think honestly, we're living in such different times. I think everybody wants to. Everybody's an expert on everything nowadays. Nobody wants to admit that they passed on buying a ZR1 and bought XYZ instead, and they actually got a worse car for a higher price. Nobody wants to admit that stuff, especially the supercar owners that own like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff. They will never acknowledge a Corvette being better than their car because of how much they paid for their car, only to get a lesser performance out of their car. Like that's one of the reasons.
Do you know what I think says everything? Do you know what I think says everything about this? And it just kind of, in my opinion, not from us, not from Track Times, but from the other manufacturers themselves, puts this all to rest. Is that, what is it? Is it the U-Drag people that go down and turn around and come back?
Okay,
or like
before you mention that, that was the next thing we were going to talk about. So David's trying to give away my secrets here, but yes, the U-Drag company or YouTube channel literally reached out to other manufacturers. You guys can read this for yourself. It's right here. It says, welcome back to Edmunds U-Drags, our series of down and back drag races that incorporate a standing quarter mile time, handling, and rolling start all in one race. In this episode, we've got the Corvette ZR1 versus, technically nothing, because almost every automaker we reached out to wasn't willing to compete with Chevy's best. So instead, we're just going to compare the ZR1 to the quickest vehicles that they've done on their leaderboard before. And spoiler alert, it landed at spot number 3, only behind a Taycan Turbo GT and a Lucid Air Sapphire. And it's only behind the Taycan by 0.1 seconds. So this thing is an absolute beast. It's so beastly that other auto manufacturers were like, nah, I don't want to see our car getting totally dominated on this freaking thing, so we're out.
To
How
me,
ridiculous is
says
that?
Everything you need to know.
Yeah. How ridiculous is that? So, I
Everything
mean,
you need to
they
know.
literally wouldn't give them the car. And now this is the first time I've seen this, because I've seen Edmunds put the Z06 up against a couple other cars. The Stingray up against the E-Ray. All these other cars are going up against them, no problem. But they mentioned ZR1 and they're like, whoa, we're out. Like they know they
Right.
can't compete. This thing's a freaking beast.
Exactly. You know, and Slimer, you said you're taking a C801 over any Lambo easily. You know, I'm going to go out and say that there would be very few Lambos that I would take over a C701 even. Like, I can't really think of one that I would be like, oh yeah, definitely I'd take that over that. Especially if it's spec right, like either Sebring, like I love, or like, and I'm not gonna lie, it's Justin's car. Like if it's spec like, there's no way I'm taking that over a Lambo. I'm sorry. They made 3,000 of them and they wrecked
I
one right off
wouldn't.
the bat. But I mean, like, no way.
There's
No
one.
way.
There's one Lambo, and this is slowly changing for me. Where there's one Lambo I would change. I would trade for my C806, and that's it. The new Revolto. But even that,
The new
I'm
Revolto.
starting to think maybe I wouldn't, because I'm hearing there's a lot of problems with these cars that people haven't seen yet. And the resale value on them is dropping like a freaking brick, just like it did with the SF90, because nobody wants the hybrid power plant. Like the SF90, I know a guy personally who bought an SF90 for 1.2, brand new. Took it in 2 weeks later to get, like, basically he was thinking about trading it in, and it came back at like 650 grand. It's like, you just lost half of your value in 2 weeks in like 1,000 miles.
Yep. Well, and the thing is too, to me though, so what this, the C7 to me, like I said, you can still have the manual. You've got everything with the ZR1 plus the manual. Like those Lambos, yes, they're next level stuff, and even the SVJ is amazing.
Yeah.
But when I say, yeah, I'll take that over if somebody was like, literally, if someone's gonna hand me the keys, when I take a C7 ZR1 M7 versus one of those, I can confidently say, I don't care. You can call me on this. Somebody please call my bluff and offer me one of these. I'll take the C7 ZR1 all day long. Sorry, I will.
Professor Corvette says that AI says that the ZR1 is the best. Case closed. Honestly, Professor,
it just says all you need to know that they're not going to let any other manufacturer. They're like, oh, we're not going to send our car out.
Yeah,
there.
I was going to say, I would agree with AI in this situation, because we're literally seeing it in real life. People are literally backing down from challenges because the car's just too good.
Exactly.
But yeah, somebody said another thing here. MGM says lesser performance and higher repair and maintenance bill. That's true too. I can change the oil on my C806 for roughly $150. Show me a Lambo you can do that in.
Right, exactly.
And Doug Belfield, I got you entered in. He's in for 10 entries. Thank you for the support as always. And yeah, Professor Corvette, that's not even the X. So
that's what I was just gonna say. And this isn't even the X. Like, you know, Jay Leno's great. Like, he was talking about the X the other day. Again, like, this is gonna be the game changer. The ZR1 is obviously the best thing Chevy's ever put out as far as Corvette, but this X.
So here's one thing. We're going to talk about the X here in a second, because I've mentioned this once before, but I want to talk about it again. Guys, we got 117 thumbs ups. Let's keep rocking those thumbs ups. Keep donating for the Solar Performance giveaway for tonight, which is going to be a throttle controller. Every $10 spent an entry. $50 or more is double entries. Get in on this while you can. You can get a Solar Performance throttle controller for $10 possibly. We're going to give it away tonight. So if you're just joining in, you can enter in on Super Chat or Venmo that's pinned at the top of the chat link. But in the meantime, smash the thumbs up button. We are talking about the C8 Corvette ZR1 and how it's decimating right now. And that's not even talking about the ZR1X yet. Now, let's talk about the ZR1X. Everybody thinks the ZR1X is this freaking awesome thing. I'm not going to tell you that it's not. 1,250 horsepower is pretty awesome. But what I will tell you is that the ZR1X barely beats the ZR1 around the Nürburgring. We've talked about this already. It barely beat the ZR1 around the Nürburgring. And the ZR1X was a 10-piston brake setup car, whereas the ZR1 was not. And the ZR1X was a 2026 setup, while the ZR1 was a 2025. So the difference there is the new performance traction mode. I think the difference between these two cars is literally just that. when you're putting it on the track, that extra power out of that front hybrid motor is not going to be as big as you might think. And even Jim Marrow touched on this. If that motor dies on that track at any point, you are slinging around an extra couple. I think they actually said it was over 300 pounds extra for the motor and stuff in the front. You're throwing around an extra 300 pounds of dead weight if that motor dies. And it will. There's almost no way that it stays alive the whole time.
And I was with a lot of people initially until I got seat time in a ZR1 that the E-Ray from a dig or on a drag strip is going to get out on a Z06. Unless you have really good time, whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, after being at the drag strip and driving, but specifically the drag strip with Steven's ZR1, that thing straight hooks. There was not one time where we went to launch that car and it got out of, like we had to pull out of it because he lost traction. It just squats and goes. And he was putting down like 60-foot times. I never would have seen that coming. I thought for sure, even with the boost, like controller, but first 2 gears and limiting, I still would have expected some drama in it. Nothing. Literally just goes. So again, I'm less inclined to say the X other than a quarter-mile blast where you get all the battery and you're done, like whatever, maybe. But that extra 300 pounds for that extra couple of hundred horsepower, I don't know, man, because like his car just hooks. There's nothing wrong with the traction.
I've said since the very beginning, as soon as the X was announced, I got bombarded with questions on my channel about whether or not I was going to cancel my ZR1 order now and go with the X. And the answer was consistently no, 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 no. I'm not a hybrid guy. I don't like the technology. I don't think we're quite there yet. And especially in the ZR1, at some point, there is a point of which the horsepower for weight added trade-off is not worth it. And that's it. To me, the ZR1 is going to be the best bang for the buck.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah, exactly. And now if you're looking for absolute craziness on a launch, it probably will be slightly crazier on a ZR1X because you're going to get extra traction. But like David was saying, the ZR1 doesn't seem to struggle too much with that anyway, because the additional weight of that car, a lot of it's on the rear, so it's pushing those tires down to make it the traction even better anyway. Plus, you're not adding an extra 300 pounds in the front. I think that is the ZR1 is the best setup, and I honestly believe that if both the ZR1 and the ZR1X were run at the Nürburgring and they were both 2026 models, that the ZR1 would have probably pulled a slightly better track time, but that's not what GM wants to show you. They want to show you that the ZR1X is the faster car because it's slotted above the ZR1. So I believe they fudged the numbers to some degree.
Yeah, well, I don't think they fudged numbers. I just think they gave the best of each car, but it is a little bit misleading because I will say there's a lot of, if you watch that lap and you watch the times, there's a lot of the time where that battery isn't doing anything for you, that you spend a lot of time in that car, specifically the ZR1, above the speed where you're going to get anything out of it.
Right.
So you're carrying around that weight where you're spending a lot of the lap. Now, is the battery and the all-wheel drive enough on the times where you need it to make up for those long pulls? I don't know, because there's some really long pulls.
Yeah.
In the ring where you're going all out, big numbers. I agree with you. I really think that if it was the same car as far as brake spec and the new traction and everything, I don't think the battery and the all-wheel drive is enough in the twisty parts that better than the straight up ZR1 would be in the long straights. No way.
10 Seconds Z06 brings up something I didn't know. He said Tavares on YouTube rebuilt a Revolto and sold it for a loss because he didn't like the hybrid feel. I can totally agree. I can totally see that being the case because I don't think I would either. And Tavares, there's probably
not a problem.
There's probably not a bigger in touch with his car YouTuber on YouTube than Tavares. So if he's saying that, that's a real problem. I have not driven over Revolto, so I can't tell you. Well, I did drive one, but it was 10 feet, so I can't tell you for sure that I didn't like it.
Hey, but you drove it, man.
I literally pulled it into the shop, so it's like, okay.
That's the fastest 10 feet ever.
But other than that, I couldn't tell you for sure. I love the way the car looks. I love the way it feels, like in the interior, but I bet I wouldn't like it. I'd put money on the fact I wouldn't like it either, because I didn't like the E-Ray for the same kind of reason. Now, Rally Roofers is actually saying that the difference is 325 pounds. So that's even a hair higher than what I was thinking. That's to me, I feel like that's just too much.
Well, and again, to me, like it's a solution to a problem that currently isn't there. Because I have seen on the track and on the street, I have given Steven ZR1s the beans. I have given it everything, and I'm going to tell you, it's got better traction than our Z06s. I don't even know how that's
I was gonna
possible.
say, I
He
don't know.
owns he
So
owns an E-Ray, he owns a Z06, and he says that the car that hooks the best, and I've experienced it, is a ZR1. It's just not even a problem. It's
there's only
crazy.
one
It doesn't even
reason
make sense to
why
me.
I would say it hooks better is because it likely has the new compound tires. Those tires are going to be available for the Z06 as well, though. So if that is the case, then
Right.
we're going to be getting better traction across the board. But
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying
yeah.
it's not a problem right now. Literally at the track, I swear, not one. He's have made lots of hits. There's only a few that are out there publicly on TV, but there's lots of hits, and he has not had one where he's been like, "Oh, I got to get out of it because I lost traction." It just doesn't. It just goes.
Yeah. So Randall Swanson throws, he's in for 10 entries on the throttle controller now too, guys. Randall, thank you for the donation. I just wanted to make sure that gets mentioned. Again, guys, let's get in on this giveaway. We are going to be doing it here very soon. If you want to get in on the giveaway, $10 is an entry, $50 or more is double entries. And please smash the thumbs up button, guys. Let's get to 200 as soon as we can.
Yes, please.
Gordon Cruz says, Justin, where did you put the cool Corvette logo that was rusted on your guitar last week? I haven't found a good spot yet. It's actually sitting off screen over here on top of my guitar amp now. But yeah, no, I think it was either Gordon, somebody else mentioned it last week about it, and I had just set it on the guitar because I was looking for the area behind me is kind of full at this point, so I don't know where I want to put it. I'd like it to be visible because it's pretty cool looking, but we'll see. Thanks for the eagle-eyed viewers out there. You gotta love it.
Oh, dude, Gordon, dude, you're not getting anything past Gordon, man. Gordon's sharp, dude. I've talked to him multiple times. Like, you're not getting anything past him, man.
Yeah, it's the Cup 2 tires on the ZR1, the Cup 2Rs, but Michelin has changed the compound of the Cup 2 and the Sport 4S tires. They're just now becoming available to the public. So I'm pretty sure the ZR1 got those tires right off the bat.
Well, somebody was asking like our mod sequence because they were asking about the solars. I know my mod sequence was, I did the throttle controller first, but then it was throttle controller, even Venturi, ported throttle bodies, ported manifold. Oh no, I did exhaust early, but just cat back first, but then more later. But
yeah,
honestly, guys, like it doesn't matter what you do. That throttle controller is legit, hands down, the one that'll change the way you drive your car more than anything. And it's probably the cheapest mod you can get too.
Well,
so.
I know somebody was asking if that was the throttle bodies were the first mods both of us did. And actually, no. Power-wise, my very first mod was an AWE exhaust. Then the Sport Cats, and then I did the solar throttle bodies and Venturi at the same time. Then I added the throttle controller a couple months later because I purposely wanted there to be a gap so I could feel the difference between the throttle controller.
Oh wait, no, we did your. No, you had an Venturi before your Cats because we did your Cats at the back.
That's on the black one. I'm talking about the new one.
Oh, the new one. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, yeah, that's right. You have multiple Z06s.
Right. No, I don't. I had another one. I did not have them both at the same time. Please, if we want to talk about that, let's.
At your house.
But yeah, MGM says, but you can drive the ZR1X in the snow. Cue the commercial. No one is going to do that. No one. And if there is one guy that does, it's because he pulled it out of his garage to do donuts and then he put it right back in the garage. Like,
right.
There's one guy that I know that drives his E-Ray in the snow. One guy. And that's Corey.
Yep.
Other than him, I have never seen anybody do it. Yes, you can do it, and they advertise it as such, but here's the problem. At the end of the day, it's still a Corvette. It still sits very low to the ground. So unless there's like 2 inches or less of snow out there, it doesn't matter if you have all-wheel drive or not. You're not going through that. You're going to be plowing it up over the windshield. So it's a stupid way to advertise a car. Yeah, it's all-wheel drive, but that doesn't mean you're driving it in the snow. Don't be dumb. Now, I guess I should have probably attacked that a little less because there are people that will do it. But you have this amount of people will buy the car.
Get it out of the garage, drive it, film it, and then put it right back in. And then be like,
you got this amount of people that will buy the E-Ray.
Idiot that.
Yeah, you have this amount of people that will buy the E-Ray and this amount of people here that will drive it in the snow. Like, it is going to be an absolute gigantic swing between the two, because at the end of the day, it's still a Corvette. It's like, you could buy the SF90. That's an all-wheel drive car. The Revolto, that's an all-wheel drive car. How many of those do you see driving around in the wintertime? It's the same kind of thing. And it's not because it's a more expensive car. It's because it's too low to the ground. It's not built to handle snow. I don't care if it's all-wheel drive or not.
Right. Well, and anybody that lives in snow knows that the snow and its powder is great, but after that it becomes those big chunks of like frozen crap that's been compressed, and it would just murder the front end of that car.
And that's the thing, is it's like, if snow was all we got, I would drive my car in the snow. The biggest reason I don't take my car out in the winter has nothing to do with the snow, and everything to do with the salt and the cinders and the crap that they put on the roads to try to melt the snow. Yep. If it wasn't for that, I would drive my car in the snow on, little amounts of snow where I don't have to worry about plowing through it. I'd drive it, but that's unfortunately not the case.
If you didn't have to clean it up in your garage when you're done, you should wait until it's done, back it out and then back it right back in and say you drove it in the snow.
Dude, you literally just made a YouTube reel. I'm going to do that. The next time we get about 2 inches of snow, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to act cocky as hell about it too. I'm going to get out of the car and be like, I told you guys I'd drive this thing in the snow. Look at this. I'm going to film the tracks that are about this long from my garage. It's in the snow, baby. And then just back it back and be like, man, it was cold
hilarious. Out there. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorites you did last year was when you took your TRX out and just right in the fresh snow. And you just,
yeah, dude, that's such a good time first, because again, that's the kind of vehicle that's built to handle the snow. So going out and having some fun in the snow
20 times at least.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Actually, Kevin, I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I know how to drive in the snow very well, and I had a rear-wheel drive car.
Rally Roofer says all the hybrids in every brand are a terrible loss in value. And it's the same reason. People don't trust battery technology, and they shouldn't. I don't think we're not there yet. Will we be? Absolutely. Yeah. Is battery power for cars the future of automotive? 100%. But we're not there yet. I would say we're 10 to 15 years away from the adequate battery technology for charging purposes and longevity purposes. I think we're 10 to 15 years away from battery technology that makes sense in cars. Right now, it's kind of like
and I actually read something the other day that there's been a breakthrough that they're probably gonna very shortly have a new battery for EVs that can fully charge in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And be able to store more power. But again, when it gets to the masses and when it makes its way to the Chevy Bolts and not the prototypes or the Tesla Roadster,
that's only part of it.
See.
The other part is we need a power grid that's able to charge these things. So when I think it was last summer, California and Texas both were advertising on the news saying, hey, don't charge your electric ar every night if you don't need to, because there's so much power being pulled for AC air conditioning purposes in houses and stuff, that if everybody that owned an electric car was charging their car the same night, it would literally take down their power grids. And that says something, because I did the math at the time, and there was only about 1% of the entire US. It wasn't even a full percent. It was under 1%. 1% of the automotive cars on the road were electric.
Right.
Now, if we increase that even from we'll just round it up to 1%. If we increase it from 1% to 10%, the power grids aren't going to be able to handle it. So until the power grids are up to snuff, until the battery charging is faster, until the battery life is longer, it's not going to make sense. It's at this point, we're just beta testers for what these electric cars are now.
Yep. Well, never enough. Real quick, a lot of people have the scrape armor or the radiator grill store. They have the front grill guards and then the side ones. So they're easy to install. They're out there. They're you can buy them.
I have both of them. I had both of them on, as David said, both my Z06s. But
both is
Rally Roofers. Or I'm sorry, I already talked about that. Z06 Hot Rod Todd said that Misha on YouTube analyzed the ZR1 laps on the Nürburgring, and he said that the ZR1 lap left the most time on the table.
Out of the 3 laps.
This tells me again, and I know David didn't like when I use this word, but GM, maybe they didn't fudge the numbers because the numbers were still legit, but they played with the numbers to make the ZR1X the fastest car.
Right.
I know they did. I knew they did when they showed the ZR1X having the 10 piston brake setup and the ZR1 being a 25 model. I knew as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's going to leave time on the table, even if it was only a second. Or I think it was a second and a half faster, the ZR1X. If it was a second and a half, what GM did is they didn't want to say, hey, here's this brand new ZR1X. Oh, wait, it's slower on the ring than the ZR1. Oops. Like, they didn't want to do that because I would understand, and so David would understand. Anybody with the knowledge of what a hybrid setup on these cars is would understand why it's slower. But the people who don't would be like, well, I'm not spending more money on a car that's slower. You know, that's why they did it. But I guarantee you they did it. I guarantee you that ZR1 ends up being faster than the X on 99% of the tracks out there.
Right. And there's time. And the GM guys are great drivers, but there's time left in these cars. Like, they're not putting F1 drivers in these things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's still time left in these cars. Come on, guys. So.
Yep. Sandbagged, says Supercar Ranch. What's up, man? That's probably a better word. Sandbagged. I should be using that.
I like that. Sandbagged it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and again, too, like, we're seeing the dealer markups. Not that GM cares about this one way or the other, the dealer markups, but they're cranking out ZR1s. So now this makes me okay. Well, the ADMs are going to go away on the ZR1s because as soon as ZR1Xs come out, that's the next cash cow for a dealer. Oh, you want an X? Okay, yeah, we got you an X right here. Here's your ADM.
Yep. And see, I'm actually hoping that happens because I don't want a ZR1X. I want the ZR1X to come out and have the dealers go, oh, okay, yeah, you can get the ZR1 for MSRP. No problem. I'm going to charge over MSRP for the ZR1X. Go ahead. You guys can have that. I don't want it. So.
And it just does make sense, though, from, again, marketing standpoint, right? You don't want your Halo car to be any slower than the one that, you just don't. So. And
that's why I totally understand where they're coming from. So it's not like I'm not trying to give them a bunch of crap or anything. I get why they did it, but I'm just saying they did it. So.
Yeah, and that's right, Hot Rod Todd. Like, they're engineers and they're going to drive really fast, but they don't want to wreck the car. A race car driver's never thinking, oh, I might wreck the car. He's going, I'm going to go fast as I can.
A race car driver's thinking, I'm going to wreck this car. I'm going to push it to the point where I do wreck it.
I'm going to drive out of this car.
Yeah. So, so GM says that they're on track to make 2,000 ZR1s by May 26th.
Wow.
At that point, we're well past the point of over MSRP charges if there's 2,000 of these things rolling around out there.
Keep making them.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to see them get MSRP. I want to see Z06s get going with discounts, everything else. Keep making them.
Yep. Real quick, we're going to talk a little bit more news. In the meantime, guys, please smash the thumbs up button. Get in on the giveaway tonight. We're going to be doing that here in a second. But before we do, I want to get through some of this news that we have too. For those guys out there like Ricky E-Ray, I want to make sure you guys are on the cutting edge of news. There is a technical service bulletin out there right now for the E-Ray dual clutch transmission fluid cavitation. So if you guys do drive your car somewhat aggressively, this is something you should check out. There's obviously a TSB for that fluid actually cavitating, which you don't want to have happen. And what they do is just replace the internal transmission filter. And this will be done under warranty, so you won't have to pay anything for it. But this is something you should look into if you do drive that car even remotely aggressively, because this is something that could obviously cause a problem for you in your transmission. So, if you have an E-Ray, go get that taken care of. You can take it to your dealership. They should be able to hook you up with the new fix from there. I think it's odd that that's a problem with the E-Ray, and it has not been a problem with the Stingray or the Z06. Granted, there are slight differences between the transmissions between the three, but I feel like the differences weren't big enough to cause something like that on one and not the other ones. So either way.
Well, at least it's out there and they're taking care of it. You know what I mean? Like, and Ricky, I know you're a really busy guy, but if you need somebody to pick up your E-Ray and take it to the dealer for you, I got you. Just let me know.
Yeah. So
I love driving Nate's. I really do.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably free fluid change and internal filter change. I mean, and again, that fluid's not cheap. So, I mean, GM offering this as a free technical service bulletin replacement, it's pretty cool. We got 124 thumbs ups, cool. 137 watching. So I know we dropped a good bit whenever my internet died. So that kind of sucks. But anyway, guys, try to help me out with the thumbs up since Comcast isn't doing me any favors. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
Let's see. Professor Corvette. Boy, this is a topic we could talk about for days. So remind me, is it the dual clutch transmission filter after the first 17,300 miles or 4.5 years? Neither one of those are right, dude. I'm guessing he's doing this on purpose, but
wait, let me put that in the book real quick.
Yeah. So just to clarify, because this is a question I get all the time, you want to change the dual clutch transmission filter, the external filter, at 7,000 miles. And in my recommendation would be to do it well before that. I changed mine at 2,000. I will change mine again at my next oil change, which will probably be around 4,000 or 5,000, and then again at 7,000, just to keep up with GM's maintenance plan. The fluid has to be changed regardless of mileage after 3 years. So odds are very good you're never going to hit 45,000 miles in 3 years. But if you did, you would change it at 45,000 or 3 years. All that fluid has to be drained and refilled. So that's it. That is the transmission filter maintenance plan. 7,000 miles on the filter, 45,000 miles or 3 years for the fluid. That's it. People make it way more complicated than it has to be.
Yep. E-Ray Nate. I love it, dude. He said, when do you charge the E-Ray battery?
From what I understand, Nate, you got to plug that in every 2 days or something. It just doesn't hold a charge very well.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is, if you didn't know, there's no gas powered engine in the E-Ray. It's all electric. So
all electric.
You have to make sure it's fully
they
charged.
Make an adapter to go into your power outlet inside the vehicle that you can plug into 120.
It's like an infinite charging loop.
He's probably getting confused now that he's got the Plaid. He probably tries to plug in the E-Ray. He probably drives out of without unplugging his Plaid.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that would
now
probably
that he's got the Plaid, he's probably all
confusing.
confused. He don't know what's going on.
Nate, don't get overdue for that stuff, man. Actually, no, you're not overdue for the fluid change yet, but maybe for the filter. Get in there, get that filter done. Don't mess with that.
No, he's putting miles on his, bro. Like he was driving an hour and a half a day there for a while, one way.
Does he have 45,000 miles on it?
I bet he did hit 45,000 miles. I bet he did.
Oh my God, dude!
I bet Nate's up there as far as one of the higher mileage E-Rays that's out there.
Go get that fluid change, then, bro. Don't mess with that stuff. GM, and that brings us into our next point of news is that GM is now making you sign a form when you buy the cars new. You have to sign, number one, that you're not going to sell the car for a year if you have a ZR1. But number two, you are acknowledging that you have to change that transmission canister filter within you get 3 years of ownership to do it, but it has to be done by 7,500 miles, plus or minus 500 miles. So 7,000 to 8,000 miles, it has to be done. And you have to sign now saying that you acknowledge that. So crazy. If you sign this and then you don't do it, they literally can void your warranty, and they can show you that they have your signature on file saying you acknowledged it and then you disregarded it. So this is now something you're signing. They're serious about this. Make sure you're taking care of that transmission. You do not, even though Hot Rod Todd said you need to have a PhD to understand this, you do not. It is as simple as canister filter at 7,500 miles, oil fluid change completely done at 45,000 miles or 3 years. That's it. Just do those two things and you are golden with GM.
Yeah, and if you don't, that could be a really expensive decision too.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep that car long enough to need the warranty for any reason, you're kind of out of luck if you don't follow those procedures. One other cool thing over at the Corvette blogger, if you guys haven't seen this, they actually did reshare the video I just did recently of me and me and Dana hooking a subscriber up with some lowering on his C8Z06. Was very similar to mine, only his was a convertible and non-Z07. We lowered it, put a splitter on it, did some scrape armor, a new diffuser, wheel spacers, and I gave him the black lug nuts I had hanging around the house. So really cool stuff to see your video pop up on the Corvette blogger, but just wanted to mention that if you guys haven't seen that video yet, you should check it out. Yep. But I think that's about it. I don't think we got any other donations that I haven't checked into yet. So we got about 5 minutes, guys. I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to get entered into the Solar Performance Throttle Controller giveaway. We are going to do it tonight. So you guys got 5 minutes before we're going to go ahead and spin that wheel. Riptide Rick says, what's the dealer charge for dual clutch transmission fluid change? Somebody did tell me I wanted this. It's a little over $1,000. The fluid by itself is something like 35 to 40 bucks a quart, and you need 11 to 12 quarts of it plus labor. It's a little over $1,000.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Professor Corvette says idea for spinoff channel, HPO and DBM Racing drag race Corvettes against challengers. Call it HPO P Demon Hunters.
Demon Hunters. I tell you what, man, if I
wouldn't want to drag race.
To track, if I could have got somebody to line up one of their, they didn't have a Demon, but they had a lot of help. If I could have got somebody to line up one of their built challengers against Steven's ZR1 that one night, I would have. But we're gonna run mine against his when we do our track rental. So yeah, I have a 1,400 horsepower Challenger. So once I dial it in, we're gonna run a track and we're gonna run that against his ZR1. I don't expect it to be any different of an outcome than just getting murdered, but we'll see.
I was gonna say I wouldn't want to drag race against especially a Demon. I mean, you're talking about a purpose-built drag car.
Demon's an 8-second car.
Like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that.
Demon's an 8-second car. Yeah, well, Demon's and again, my car is an 8-second car. If I do my job right, the problem is Steven just has to put it in D and go.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, but the Demons are 8-second cars all day long, guys. Don't, and the 170s, and don't mess with them unless you got a legit fast quarter-mile car.
That makes sense. All right, let me see. It looks like we might have gotten some entries on Venmo I didn't see pop in.
Yeah, Gordon said he donated by Venmo.
Yep. All right, Gordon, I got you in there.
Yep.
He's in for 20 entries. So we got 3 more minutes, guys. If you want to get in on this, now's the time. I did, Rally Roofers, I did miss that. He said, what? You didn't get my $1 million donation? I didn't get it. You might want to check, make sure you send it to the right person, because I did not get that. If I do get it, this live stream is going to end very abruptly, and you're not going to see me for a couple weeks.
Weeks? Wow. Actually, you know what, Raleigh? I'll check on that for you. Send me your bank account information, account number, and all that, and I'll check on it for you. I'll make sure.
Yeah. I just need the three digits on the back of your credit card. Oh god.
Love it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like with I wouldn't mind doing some call outs on some different things, but it couldn't just be just straight calling out, for drag racing on some things, because even the 170s you can tune them and stuff. You can't tune a 01, you can't tune a Z06.
This is kind of going back to Corey's thing.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, the one I'm really excited to see, and I think he just got it back, but it was kind of over boosting in first and second gear, was Steven's E-Ray is supposed to be doing stupid horsepower now, like 1,300 almost, for something like that, like boost district kind of numbers. So I would love to see Steven drop a solid 8-second pass in his E-Ray. That would be heroic.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Supercar Ranch said that he actually got the donation, and gracias, thank you. Yeah. So some wires got crossed. Supercar Ranch got it instead. Thanks for trying, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I'll take $29.99. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, if you get the $1 million, just throw me like $100. I'll be all right.
Oh, dude, if somebody gave me $1 million, oh man, dude, it ain't gonna be that. We're both good. We're both good. What color did you say you wanted your X?
Yeah.
I swear, you know what? That's a good point. If honest to God, if that happened, you'd be the first copy. Like, all right, bro, what color? Let's spec it out. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, all of a sudden paying over
100%
MSRP for a car doesn't seem to matter as much.
Not only that, but I'd be like, here, dude, let's do it. Let's go get it together. Done. Here you
That
go.
would be awesome.
And then I'll get mine too.
That would be cool to
Heck
do that.
yeah, dude. For sure, I would do it, bro. For sure, man. You can't take it with you, man. I'd have more fun in my life if I get managed with you and I have the same car. That'd be awesome.
We just need to buy like a 200-acre plot of land, and I'll build my house here. You'll build your house here, and in the middle there'll be a racetrack around our houses.
Track.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Oh, I got to pick up more shifts. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Like, oh, by the way, I gotta work 36 hours a day to make that happen.
That would be so epic, dude. So epic.
All right, guys. Yep, I think we're up. Let me see. Did we get any more?
All right.
No more donations, so I'm going to go ahead and set up the wheel here. Yeah, the guy who had the same name. I never did figure that out, by the way, Supercar Ranch. It was Charles Samara, or I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, but he's in here all the time. Somebody introduced themselves to me as that person at Carlisle, and I come to find it was not him. And I can't believe for a second that name is common enough that I know two people with the same name. It's just not likely. All right, I'm going to start putting in some names here, and we are going to spin this wheel tonight.
Yeah, Ricky, you're not lying, man. But honestly, if for some reason I hit the lottery or whatever else, and I think, dude, I would spend so much of it on my friends and close. Like I would. Like there would be nothing that would feel better than that. That would be amazing. Charles says Samaha.
Samaha?
Samaha. Yeah. Samaha.
Samaha. Okay. Samaha. I'll try to remember that. I will forget it, but David probably won't, because he knows how to pronounce stuff when I don't.
Unfortunately, I remember things I shouldn't, like a lot of times. So there's a lot up here that I could probably purge.
If Sam's in here, yeah, he says good luck. Sam's an Eagles fan, and right now that score is looking pretty dismal. It's 0-0. I guess that's the best I could hope for, because I did not think the Packers were going to win this. But Sam is an Eagles fan, and he always sends me messages like "good luck," and there's always like this undertone of like "good luck," you know. I don't really know if that's what he's doing, but that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, I would build another garage and buy more cars, but also somebody would get, somebody would get a triple black Z07 or ZTK. Yeah, no, I'd take care of that for sure.
You better be talking about me, because nobody else is going to have that spec.
Triple black ZTK.
If I had a triple black ZTK just show up on my driveway one day, I'd be like, I'd probably just die. I'd be like, well, I know that's for me.
I'd be standing there with the keys.
Dude, you want to talk about a YouTube video? That's a YouTube video.
Oh my God. Hey, look, you could do the video. If I hit the lotto, I'm not making any more videos.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm going to drive.
I'll tell you what, though. No,
that's 2026 ZR1 that's got 200,000 miles on it.
That would be a good way to do it. But the big YouTubers, the ones that make the most money on YouTube, are the guys who are already rich. So like, you want to take your $1 million and turn it into $10-15 million. Just show your YouTube channel that you got a bunch of money, and you'll make even more money. It's like it takes money to make money.
And honestly, I would probably do something like totally off the wall. Like I would buy like a Z06 or something like that, and then like full carbon fiber everything, have somebody build me a tub and one off it, whatever. Just why? Just because. Like why? But you
A
would definitely get
full
a car,
a full
bro. You would
carbon
get a car.
fiber shower, carbon fiber bathtub. Yeah. Actually, Professor Corvette, that's a good question. If you guys haven't seen it yet, the ZR1X builder is live now on GM's site.
Oh, yeah.
There's still no
No
pricing.
prices though. Yeah.
And the deflectors that I was talking about, the secondary dive planes in the front, are not on there yet. Now, this is one of those things where I didn't see what year this is being introduced. So this could very well be a 2027 option for all ZTK packaged cars. We are going to see those pop up. I guarantee it's 100%. This isn't me speculating. I've seen it. I know they're coming. So when they do, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, there's those things Justin was talking about. But until then, I don't know why they're not on there yet. They may be waiting for pricing to throw them up there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, carbon fiber toilet for sure. It's lighter weight.
I was just gonna say I was typing it in. Ricky, I'm making some calls as soon as we're off the live stream. Thank you, sir.
It probably wouldn't even be that hard to make those.
That's what I'm saying. It can't be.
All right, so I got the names in the wheel, so we're going to go ahead and do some wheeling.
All right, let's do this, guys.
All right, I'm going to shuffle it a couple times.
Big bucks, no whammies.
There's shuffle. Let's go ahead and spin this thing.
I'm pulling. I got you, Gordon. It's you tonight. I got a feeling, buddy.
Now, if it actually is him, people are going to be like, it's rigged. Oh, God.
I'm not spinning it.
Oh.
I'm halfway across the country, bro.
Nope, it's Sean. Man, Randall with his...
Congrats.
What Randall have? One entry. Yeah. He almost won that.
One entry.
All right.
So, hey, look, he can pull a Nate. That's actually a verb now.
Yeah, pull a Nate. Exactly. All right, Sean, shoot me an email. You are the winner of the Throttle controller tonight, so just send me an email. Let me know what car you want it for, and we will make that happen for you. Thank you guys all for the donations tonight. You guys are awesome as usual. Big thank you for David for taking a lot of time out of his night tonight because of Comcast. I'm going to write them a very strongly worded letter and let them know that David is very upset.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, guys, for those of you who stuck with us through the Comcast, the great Comcast disruption of 2025, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. We really do.
Yep. Well, so guys, that's going to do it for tonight, though. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. We will see you guys same time, same place next Monday night. Stay obsessed.